Alright.
Good.
Hey Warriors, AC here.
PB.
Welcome to the very first episode of our podcast, The Warrior Talks. So in here, we will have a regular podcast. And for the first episode, we will discuss the Warrior Spirit origins, how me and PB met, a bit more of our background, because all the videos that we have done, they were more tutorials, practical videos, we didn't really get a chance to introduce ourselves and appear as genuine humans, Alright, so without further ado, let's get into it. PB, how you doing, man?
Good. You?
Awesome as well, man. I'm excited for this podcast.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, we have all the gear here. Feels very professional, in our trainings area. Feels great with the punching bag, it gives you the fighter vibe as well.
Yeah.
So let's start with our introductions. So I am AC. So for to keep it mysterious, in a way, we will still keep our names as AC and PB. We won't reveal you our actual name. Maybe eventually, but for now, let's stick with that, It's pretty fun. What do you think about it, PB?
Yeah, you gotta keep the mystery because if all people know our name, we're gonna have too much people on the street talk to us and know where we live and all this. So, we gotta keep them mystery.
Yeah, of course. It's like, imagine if everybody knew that Bruce Wayne was Batman. The amount of attention you would have had, that was crazy. So, how I'm gonna start with myself. So, my background is, we're gonna stick with athletic background for now. Eventually, in other podcasts, we will go a bit deeper. So I've come from hockey. So when I was young, I started playing hockey. We're from Montreal. It's the Canadian national sport. So I have begun in hockey when I was young. I played for like 7 years, about. In those years, I had some soccer. What I used to do is play hockey in the winter, soccer in the summer. So I had no martial arts in my background. That came a bit later. So I played hockey in my elementary, and then I played the hockey in the high school too. So actually about middle school, I dropped in 9th grade. So why I dropped it? Because I don't know, I didn't like it anymore.
Do you ever like it before, or you just didn't know if you like it? You just do it.
It became some sort of a routine because I played it for like 7 years. So, having a hockey season was just part of the plan.
Yeah.
I guess I had some sort of confidence in it, but I actually loved it. The sport. Even now, sometimes like some friends, they call me out. We go play a bit on a local rink outside. We have a couple of games.
It was like fun, but not a passion.
Yeah, I remember like the guys I was playing with in the chamber. Where we dress up and go on the ice. They were always talking like, check out this player, check out this team, the stats of this guy. And I never was into it, I played hockey, and after the practice or the match, my mind was elsewhere. So I wasn't like a true fan of the sport, but I liked playing it, I didn't follow it outside.
Yeah.
And, during, well, what was it? Yeah, so during I actually got pretty good. I think I wasn't like Sidney Crosby or anything, but I was pretty good. So I wanted to step up, and in here how it works in the hockey, you have the age group, peewee, bantam, novice, midget, anyway. And for each age group, you have ranks based on skill. So you have B. B is the worst. beginners. Maybe it stands for beginners. I don't know. But then you have A. A is pretty good. And then you get in the double letters, double C, double B, double A. And then if you're like very, very good, you have triple A. So I always stuck in the single letters, because with the double letters, usually you played very young. You had a lot of background. Your dad probably played, and my dad never played hockey. We discovered it together. And
sorry, you were from Romania, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So.
I came here very young, so my parents are Romanian. Like, what is hockey? What is this sport? It was unknown to them and to me too, growing up. But then so I played in B when I started. Then I had a year in A, so I got pretty good. And then, I don't know, I guess my skills weren't enough. So I played B for most of my career. But then for my last year, I really wanted to try hard and get in the A, in the A group. So I had the evaluations, the testings, and everything went well, according to me. But they still put me in B. So when I played there, there were pretty good guys in the team, but a lot of beginners. And once again, it's normal that they are in B because they just start out, right? So when I played, they played like beginners, and I was pretty advanced, and it was kind of annoying sometimes. I remember I was playing defensive, so I had the puck and passed it to a guy forward. And when I passed it, it was a long pass, so I shot pretty hard. And when the guy received the puck on his stick, you won't believe it. The puck hit his stick, and he dropped it. He dropped the stick, and I was feeling so dumb. Like, man, how can you not catch a pass? Like, it's a long pass. Hold the freaking stick well. But anyway, so the level wasn't wasn't very high, and I was higher level than them, so at sometimes I didn't feel in my place. And once they hired me, in A, when there's a team player missing, they call a guy from B to replace him. So I played with them, and even in A, there were some guys that were way worse than me, and that's where I learned that there's some sort of corruption. Like, if your dad knows the coach or the testers, they could put you up a levels. And then I was done with hockey. I just wanted to go do an individual sport. And I remember I was watching a show at a time. It was called Kicking It, right? And I also discovering about the UFC, judo, and that's when I quit hockey to play judo. Okay. So yeah, that was my career. Then after judo, I started learning about boxing, MMA, kung fu, and here we are now.
Judo has always been something like you always wanted to be, but never actually do it. Like, not necessarily judo, but fighting and stuff like that.
Not really. Like, for most of my youth, I really was into hockey, I actually loved the sport, like playing it. And I remember like having a dream where I was like an NHL top player, So I actually was into it. I did some karate when I was 7, and the coach was too rough, Like, he was a good coach for older guys, but not for kids, and not for me particularly, So after I was really into hockey.
Okay. So yeah, I guess it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first, my story. I never been a sport guy. When I was very young, I like video games. Windows PC, like hacking, things like that.
Yeah.
I never like very sports, because you have to make effort and you thing like that. Well, when I was a kid, if I was doing sport, it was for like pleasure, like in my trampoline, jumping and all that. So I never get into sport really. Like people, when they choose an education course, they choose people for his team. Me, I was the
last
not the last, but maybe the last, somewhere like that. And after I was with a friend who did basketball, and I joined him. At the beginning, I was very not good, and eventually I trained, and accidentally I went kind of good, not too bad. And I played basketball in my high school years, like 3 years, and like easy, like I wasn't so bad, but I didn't feel in my place really. I was doing like for a habit, let's say, because it's kind of fun, but not really excited. But I remember in a high school, I was very fearful. Like I fear everything almost. Uh, and this hold me be back for so many things, and I was just tired of it, and I wanted it to change really bad. So that's when I saw a Brick Mansion with David Bell.
Yeah, very good movie, guys. Especially the French one, because
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw Brick Mansion, the one with David Bell and Paul Walker. It's a very good movie, but David Bell, he's a Frenchman. He comes from France, and his English wasn't as good. I guess like us a bit.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah, so some of his lines, there were too, like, he was reading the text, there wasn't as much emotions as, but in the French one, it's called Banlieue 13.
He was more comfortable, and also he was younger and more in his prime, let's say.
Yeah,
he trained a
true.
lot for his movie, for this movie.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I prefer the vibe of Banlieue 13, but I think Brinkmanshire was out like 2014,
Yeah.
something like that. I saw it when I was 15. So my father talked about this guy really do this stuff in his real life. Like it's no
It's not staged.
Yeah, it's not staged. He take risk, and I was curious. I was playing video games, Assassin's Creed. It was doing parkour, so I was interested in that, and I saw his mentality, and I really love it. He was actually fearful like me, and parkour helped him to build confidence and take risk, and because he trained like 1,000 jump in the same place, a safe place. So why he cannot do it like 20 meters if it is the same thing?
Yeah.
So now that fear, it's not necessarily logic. It's more like a instinct. Just because it's higher, there is some risk. Now you fear, but you can do it. You have do it 1,000 times in the floor. So why not? But of course, you have to take intelligent risk, That's why he's still alive right now. He never been seriously injured, and that's how he built himself, his character, and I wanted to try, and I love it, absolutely love it. And after that, I love this mentality, like, I don't know how to say, but it's similar to martial art, so I can relate to martial art. And for me, it's like a bit the same thing. The workouts look almost the same. So
Yeah, gymnastics, parkour. I guess parkour is a variant of gymnastics.
it's
urban
very
gym-
broad. It's depend what you want. The classical thing, it's like no flip. You just want to go point A to point B.
Yeah.
But there's many variation, and people just like to have fun, so they add flips and backflips. So now we know parkour as very gymnastic in the sense where there is acrobatic, but I don't think that's David Bell wanted to display.
Yeah, no, and by the way, for those who don't know, David Bell is the founder of parkour.
Yes, he's considered the founder, although there is some like not controversy, but some people say it's Jackie Chan because he started parkour movie before. Other people say it's Yamakasi, where he was the group with David Bell, but we say it's David Bell. He pretty much name it parkour, so yeah.
Yeah, because Jackie Chan, it was a movie and it was staged, you know. Not that he doesn't do his own stunts, in the sense that they were made to look very eye-catching, you know. So he was doing like a lot of flips,
Yeah.
running, jumping around, stuff that you wouldn't really do in real life,
Yeah.
you know.
But he was also doing like very good parkour. He climbed very fast. He do like point A to point B very in a creative way.
Yeah, of course, Jackie Chan is a beast as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you felt that parkour brought you like this sense of not mental superiority as in arrogance, but your fears started to grow slow.
The fur never stop. The
Okay.
only thing that helped me is that even if I fear, I do it.
Okay. So yeah, basically you
My confidence grow, let's say that, but my fear stays.
right. So yeah, you became more confident with parkour, and like you said, in martial arts, it's very humbling. You know, like making those jumps. It's hard thing to do. So you conquer your fear, and like you said, fear isn't something rational. So when you're afraid, you're just making concepts in your mind.
And it's take all over your attention. You give it power, and you're like in the
Yeah, it grows.
yeah.
Yeah, you give it attention. It's like putting oil on a fire, you know?
Yeah,
You start to worrying about a little thing, then you...
But it's useful, you know. You have to notice. Okay, there's this.
Yeah.
But you don't have to overthinking. Just notice and continue your way.
Yeah, because having a bit of fear, a bit of stress, it's good because if you didn't have it, you wouldn't see like the risk and the potential dangers.
Yeah, you will get injured. It's happened to me actually. I said I was like too extreme. Like I was okay. You know you have to become confident. So just do this jump because I was successful on the other jump. So I just do it, and I just enter myself and learn like this.
Yeah, I remember you injured your foot once right before our trip to Magog.
This is another story.
Yeah. But anyway, so I also remember like, yeah, you were pretty shy when we met. We'll get to that later. But with throughout the years, you became just more confident, like you said.
Yeah.
And I think like parkour and the other things you do, they help you like get more confidence. And like we to come back on the fear subject, fear is something that it's a tool that it's easier to you to use. It's harder to use it properly. It's easier to like mess up with it. So
Yeah.
usually like when you do like the math and the physics behind like a jump or something that you're afraid of, the math makes sense and you land it, but it's stuck in your head, right? Like
Yeah,
you
because there is a risk. There is a risk, but if you look at it, there is almost always a risk.
yeah.
Always.
Yeah, like if you check out the probabilities of failure and the statistics and stuff, you have a lot more chances of succeeding. And if the probabilities are the other way, where you have more chances of failing, you have to be careful. And then you reconsider the jump,
Yeah.
right? Because once again,
But
you
it's
can't
not
be-
just statistics. Sometimes it's like a feeling also.
yeah.
You gotta feel the jump, you gotta see it. It's like I remember saw a interview with David Bell. He said like, those who play, I think he say bowling or something like that. He's not calculate statistic. He go with his feeling, inside. He know how to throw it exactly to do a spare, or how you call it, strike.
Strike.
So
You knock all the bowling sticks.
Yeah.
I don't know how you call it. The key in French. And you knock all the white parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course, there's a lot of fame because you do it, right? It's not like a computer or something.
Yeah.
So
Your body, knows it. You know
Yeah.
how to walk. You don't calculate out of physics, because if you do it, you will never succeed to walk. There's so
Yeah.
many things. No many.
yeah, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
So now after parkour, what was the continuation of the story of your background?
It's pretty much a shit. It's because once I start parkour, I was passionate. I love training. I just love training. I never thought I was someone like this sports guy.
Yeah.
Never thought, but it feels good. It helped me with my mental states, and I feel it just make me a better person also. So win-win-win situation. I learned from that. It's like a little bit like a learning process for life, like a boot camp or something like that, to be tougher.
You had the foundation, and now after you pass through that phase, it's embedded in you, right?
Yeah.
Now, like for me, it's crazy to think like you were a computer geek,
But not really a computer geek, but like just do a lot of fun. Don't work a lot. Like wimpy kid. I was like a wimpy kid.
Greg from there, wimpy kid,
Yeah.
always complaining, always having problems.
Yeah, he wanted to do like the more easy way and to get the more out of.
No work, only gains.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It doesn't work that way. So it's crazy to hear that, because honestly, you're like the biggest grinder I know. Like you have been through so much, and I guess you had some sort of talent in parkour and kung fu and everything, but there's more dedication and hard work that you put into it. So for that, man, it's motivational.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, of course. And now, we met a long time ago. So We met when we were in 7th grade. We were in high school together. In Canada, it's called well, not Canada, only in Quebec, Montreal, where we're from. It's called secondaire. So it's secondary school. It's the equivalent of 7th grade. So 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, those are our secondary years. We don't have middle school or
High
high
school.
school. Yeah.
It's like high school. No.
Yeah. It's the
guess.
equivalent of high school. It's a mix of middle school and high school.
Yeah.
So and then you have CJEP after you finish high school. You don't go straight to university or college. You go to CJEP. It's some sort of a mid because it's a bit like secondary school. It's a bit like college. I guess it's for a better transition. I don't know. It's a bit annoying, but let's not get into it. So yeah, we met in 7th grade. We were in the same school bus,
Yeah.
and we used to play like games on the iPod.
Yeah,
It was like a
Stickman,
Yeah, Stickman Sniper.
Sniper, whatever.
Yeah, there was like some stupid story in the game. You had to like aim and shoot the bad guys, and so yeah, we were friends, but not as close, because we didn't have any classes together, and we didn't have
Actually, English.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
We
Yeah,
saw one
English.
picking.
Yeah, that's where I found out about it. Yeah, true. I forgot about that. But even in English, like we didn't talk as much.
Yeah.
It took a while for us to get closer. We were on the same basketball team. I played basketball during my hockey years.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah, for like 2 weeks. And it was funny because there were in the testings, there was a guy who he was a tryhard, right? He really wanted to make on the team, and I remember I was bad in basketball. Like I didn't know how to throw the ball. I used to for longer range. I used to throw it one hand straight. Like I didn't have any technique or whatever. And I remember this guy. He was pretty good. And he was telling me oh, you should give up, man. I don't think you'll make the team. You should train more and try next year or whatever. But I was like, all right, man, whatever. So then it comes the testing day, and we do it. And after, I think it was the day later, they put the papers on the wall with the players that have been chosen for the team. And I remember looking, I saw my name, and the guy didn't see his name. He looked at me like, wow, come on, man, what is this? How does that loser make that team, So anyway, then we started training, and we need to have a captain of the team. So the coach made us remember the warm-up at the beginning, and the guy who knew the warm-up the best, he would become captain. And I knew the warm-up the better, the best. And I became captain of the team, And remember, I was trash in basketball. I didn't know how to throw a ball properly. I didn't know how to throw a ball properly.
Actually, I thought you was kind of good. I remember.
Really?
Yeah. But I know you have no technique, but it's not. You were doing score and all that.
Yeah, I was able to put the ball in the net sometimes. I remember the 3-pointers were hard for me. I used to throw one hand. 'Cause I couldn't I didn't have technique and reach.
But you have the IQ, you pass to the good person. He was not playing solo for some reason.
Yeah, well, I didn't have the skills for it, first of all. And I remember that came from hockey, I was always in the back. And I was kind of the tactical player of the team, I was looking, okay, this guy is available. He could pass it to the other, So, yeah, I guess I had that going for me. So I became the captain. And the guys in the team, they were like, this guy captain? Whatever, man. You just became captain because you knew the warm-up, And it was true. So I played there for a bit. And then, a week later, I left the team.
Yeah, where's the captain? The captain leave. It was funny.
Yeah, and I didn't tell to anyone. I just left. Yeah. So right before we bought the dried fruits, because to finance the team we had to buy dry fruit like
And
dried
sold it.
yeah, and sell it, you know, to
Sell
make
it,
money for
yeah.
the team. And that's when I left, right before paying, you know. So come on. And then I went back to hockey. So yeah, we played basketball, but that's not where we became closer friends. It was in ninth grade. We I started to have like a group of friends. You know, we were hanging out every lunch break, and someday Phil PB.
Oh.
Oops. All right.
You
So,
didn't hear anything.
yeah,
Yes.
we'll cut that out. We'll put a
Alright.
beep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll beep it out. So yeah, PB came to the table and we just started talking, you know, and we became friends. It was me, PB,
Another
was-
guy.
yeah, there was another guy, Andre Program. We'll have him on the show sometime. And there was another guy called, we'll call him CV. So CV, he was with us, but only in high school. After when we got to CJEP and we graduated, he had another group of friends. So anyway, we started hanging like every lunch break. We were always together, and even like we had like a 15 minutes break before between classes. Even then, we were always together.
It was so funny. Like, I don't know how we made so much fun for little thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well that's why we stuck together. We were always laughing, having fun. We never had a fight. We never had a beef or
Yeah,
anything. Never.
Like, you can just walk in the hallway and we will have something to laugh at. Like,
Yeah, it was crazy. So and I get even till this day, we never had like a fight. You know, we never had
No.
like a beef or anything. Sometimes they were like, you know, maybe sometimes some things we understood the wrong way or whatever, but we would talk about it and then we would laugh and we go. So yeah, eventually we would have the boys on the podcast. But anyway, so yeah, then we were in we were in the later years of high school together, you know, starting to get more close to each other, you know. Starting hanging out after school as well, and that's when I started like judo. I started in ninth grade, like seriously. I did it a bit before, but I really started in ninth grade, and then I got more into martial arts. You know, I saw the UFC. I saw like judo competitions, and then there was a class we could take in sports. It was martial arts, and then we went there. The boys and me and PB and the other guys, and you know, we had fun. It was great, and yeah, for me personally, like the spark starting to burst, you know, and the martial arts flame in me starting to get bigger.
he was the fight guy. Always talk about the fight.
Yeah.
And I was the parkour guy, David Belge guy.
Yeah. That's how I knew him, you know, from PB. And yeah, I remember even in one of our chat groups, I was like fighter guy.
Yeah.
PB was parkour guy.
Yeah.
So and then we graduated from high school, and of course, like, we remained friends. Like, come on. And when I was like, it was like 2019. We started, me and PB, you know, we had like some sort of similar training methods because I was doing martial arts, but the way I trained for it, the way I trained for judo was very similar to how PB trained for parkour.
Yeah.
And so we started training together.
Bodyweight stuff, agility, things like that.
Yeah, the whole thing, because the other guys in our group, they were more training at the gym, doing heavy weights, you know. They were more into those. They weren't training for a
functional
sport. Exactly.
More like for aesthetic.
Yeah, that's right. They were training more for aesthetics. They weren't like training for sport, right?
Yeah.
Like me and PB. So we started to get closer even then. And one time we came with the warrior training, you know. So we had like a whole regimen. It was physical training, intelligence training, and psychological training. I still have the paper in my room, by the way. And you know, the physical training, you know, it goes by itself. You have agility, you have power, you have endurance, you know, all of those, the martial arts technique, parkour skills. And then in intelligence, you had like detective skills, you know. When you go into a room, you analyze it well.
We used to play like chess.
Yeah.
And outdoor games.
Yeah, like intelligence
Luminosity. Luminosity.
Yeah, the Luminosity app. It's if you guys don't know it, it's a very great app. We're not sponsored by them. I wish we were, but anyway, so it's a very great app that trains your mental capabilities.
Yeah.
It's a workout for your brain. And yeah, and a lot of like board games that would like intelligence related. By the way, we should do those more in a while. So that was like the intelligence training. And psychological training, it was conquering your fears, you know, building mental fortitude. So we were doing like walk in the forest, going out in the cold, you know, stuff like that. And
for me, just sparring was building my psychological yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we were sparring funny back then.
Man, we're sparring like idiots. Because if you guys, I don't know when you guys tuned in, but our first video, it's one of the sparring that we did, but it was after we started the warrior training. Warrior Spirit, the channel, came a bit later. So we started sparring, you know, we started training together, martial arts. We watched like YouTube videos for some drills and things, combinations. For the grappling part, you know, I was doing what I learned in judo. And for the striking part, PB was doing what he learned in Kung Fu.
Yeah, I was doing Kung Fu. I was inspiring, like I say, Jackie Chan, and I like some flexibility aspect and other aspects, so I just learned Kung Fu while doing parkour. I forget to mention that.
Yeah, they will go together, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we did that. PB, you know, showed me and him, I guess, to practice what he learned in Kung Fu, and I did the same for judo and the ground game and grappling. So eventually we got like pads, we got gloves. I remember like my dad in his work, he could like gain points by the projects he completed. And so we had a lot of points, and you could go on like a store linked to his work account or something. And we got like free pads, free gloves, a lot of equipment. And we just started like pad working, you know, watching YouTube, very like homemade DIY training, you know. So we started that, then we continued, and eventually, you know, like I think it was like a year later, so more or less, and you know, PB says like, yo, we should train our training and our sparring, you know, to see what we can improve on and just like record, see the progression. So we did
because with image exterior point of view, you can really see, because sometimes you think you are like this, but you don't are like this. So you can see your weak point, and also sometimes, for example, it's usually the opposite. If you think you are too aggressive, you're not enough. And if you think you're not enough aggressive, usually you're too aggressive. I noticed that. So
yeah, that's true. Especially us. I remember like the first sparrings we did, before filming and recording, we were trying to hit hard. So there wasn't a lot of technique, just like a big shot.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah, and oh man, it was so bad. Yeah, I remember like having headaches after.
Yeah, I remember like we were in the fence, like we in the fence.
Oh yeah, in my backyard. We were like sometimes getting hit and then smashing at the fence, you know. It was pretty brutal and pretty
but not that brutal. We were just not used to the stress on sparring. So we're just hitting, but we're not control the force. We not do it smart. So we
Yeah.
just boom.
Yeah, I said brutal. What I mean, yeah, we were like knocking each other out, you know?
Yeah.
We were like going a bit too hard and it wasn't technical. So we didn't have like a guard or counter attacks. So we would hit and then
The other guy hit,
the other guy hits.
and then the other guy hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after especially after the headaches, we started to train more intelligently, started to train more technical, you know. And then that's when you came with the idea we should film it. So I think you had like a tripod, and you put your phone in it, filmed the sparrings, and then we put it on YouTube. It was for us initially, and we named our channel The Warrior Spirit. I remember like the first logo was kind of sketchy. I don't even think it was a logo, just like a black screen or whatever. Then put it on and
Yeah.
and even like the title, like it really was for us. The title was like Warrior Training 2019 1st of November. Like it was something like that. It wasn't
Yeah.
something very like catchy or whatever, just for us. And then we remember like we started getting some views and stuff. We're like, oh, you know what? We should do another.
Yeah.
So we did.
I remember also someone, our friend, let's call it BP, VP.
Okay.
Whatever
Yeah.
you will remember.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We were like climbing schools, and for us it was natural, but for him, no. So
Yeah.
now I realized that we were like, we were doing something. We are not, let's say, I don't know how to say, but
It was out of the ordinary.
yeah,
Like, I remember the moment you're talking about, like that school we climbed it like it was nothing, right? We're
Yeah.
used to it. And
I forgot that this is not necessarily for every person. So
yeah,
it
like
was natural.
yeah, it was, you know, like
I
train for-
thought I was bad, actually. Yeah.
yeah, I remember like the way you did it for me was so cool, and I remember seeing you do it such ease, you know, and the way I did it was a bit like it wasn't as fluid as yours, but still like it wasn't that bad. And then like it became some in our head, we're like, yeah, everybody does that. But then our buddy BP, he came and like, whoa, I can't climb that. I can't even reach the first handle. I'm like, what? I just jump a bit, you know? So we realized that what we were doing, it was actually out of the ordinary. And we put training into it. So it wasn't like just raw talent, you know? Especially for me. I'm a bigger guy and heavier, especially at the time. I was kind of fat. So I was like, I had like a chubby face. And, you know, athletic stuff, you know, like parkour and gymnastics, they were harder for me. Also, I'm not very flexible till this day. Still have the problem. So, what we were doing was out of the ordinary. And then we started, you know, posting the sparring videos we did. And then we put on our mentality video. That was a bit discussing the warrior training protocol we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And that video was pretty successful. It wasn't like a million views, you know, like the channel is still growing, but it was pretty big. And then that was a motivator for us to continue doing the content we still do now.
Yes. So we start with a mini tutorial, like things we did. We realized at that time, like hand-eyes coordination.
Hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, we were actually do it at that time. So we made video because we ourselves discover it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you know, like you probably noticed that, but we didn't have like a script on anything, you know. It was like going on the flow and actually like talking about something we discovered recently,
Yeah.
especially like the hand-eye coordination. I
Yeah.
remember like that's when we learned to juggle, juggle with three
Yeah,
balls.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
like, we're gonna show our fans the way we did it and some drills to make it easier, and stuff like that. Like a lot of ideas, like I texted people, yo, we should do a video about that.
Yeah.
Then PB texted to me, oh yeah, let's go, or the other way around, So
Yeah.
that's how a lot of our videos came to life.
Yeah.
And then like our parkour run came around, it became pretty popular, and we had great comments on our videos. So all of those motivated us to continue and grow the channel to where it's now, I guess. We took a little break last year with school and work and stuff. It became harder to be consistent on the uploads, but we started our Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts to keep posting content, but it was like easier to make. But once
more
again,
successful also. But people right now, it's like a trend. They love mini video, and I can understand because I too. It's like rapid. You have information in a short time. You don't lose time, so that's efficient. So now shorts, I believe it's more popular. That's why it's more successful than other video.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? It's that shorts are very popular for sure, but podcasts are very popular too, and it's like the opposite. It's super long. Like
it's kind of weird, but podcast, it's like a conversation, and if you like, because shorts, you have information, but if you want to relax, take a cup of water while listening and just relax a bit at the same time, not too much excitement, not big music, big explosion or whatever. Podcasts are good for that, especially in this time of COVID, because we cannot see a lot of people and have conversation. So right now it's as if you were there, but not really.
Yeah, I guess you sort of are a bit, You're in the camera there, we can see you. But yeah, like you said, it's sort of like replacing radio, news shows, and sometimes documentaries too. They're like podcasters that bring a special guest who specialize in one. I lost my words. Hold on. Yeah, they specialize in one field, and so they ask them questions. I guess like an interview, and they ask them questions about stuff, and they have conversation about it. It's like an interview, but less structured.
Yeah, exactly. You go in the flow. Sometimes structure can, remove some authenticity. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that they planned it and scripted, But if you just like talk and flow with the other person,
you're more captive also. The attention, it's more easy to stay attentive. I don't know how to explain, but it's like everything come up
naturally.
Yeah. So it's like a movie, there is no stop. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool podcast, and that's why we started it too. Of course they're successful, but it's also a way for us to talk about things we like and subjects maybe you want to hear about too. You leave it in the comment section down below. So now we have the podcast, and in 2022 we will also do more of our classic videos, that we started out with. We would have less videos but better quality, so we have the podcast we do now, and we will do our regular videos but higher quality. So and also in 2021 we started our website, our e-store. So we started making out gear. And why we did that, we felt like, the gyms were closing, and it's kind of harder to train. And I remember, like, yeah, I was doing like push-ups and stuff, but for me personally, I became kind of old. I wanted to try something new, right? And vary my training. So, but I was stuck at home, right? So then PB showed me ring training, and so we made the training together. We had our classic MMA training, martial arts training, let's say. And, we were like, yo, we should make some gear, have our own brand, make our own stuff. And let's make something that is very versatile and that you can have at home with no like special equipment. Okay. Because we started, it was very DIY, very homemade. So that's what we wanted to do, make training for home for every regular people. So that's what we did. Then we saw the hydro power bag. That's a good idea. So we made it. The rings,
something useful that you can use to better yourself and that will last. No, not just a little thing you buy and you just throw it.
Not some like cheap product. Something that will last you and that will help you get where you want to physically.
Yeah.
So we had the hydro power bag. We have the rings, of course. And then we made our martial arts gear, the gloves, the double end bag. So we started that, and it takes a lot of time. It's a lot of work to start a store, but I wouldn't call it work. It's a lot of effort and time we put, but I have fun doing it. So every time I put time into the Warrior Spirit, in general, the videos, the editing, the store, we always have fun. It's always a great time.
Yeah.
So we will continue with that. And now this was the first episode of a podcast. So we started out. I guess it wasn't like real conversation. We had like some talking points to, let you guys know like a bit who we are, how we started Warrior Spirit and stuff like that. But for the next episodes, it will be like a straight up conversation. We will make it better as well. And let us know subjects in the comment section down below if you want to.
Sorry for our English, especially right now. I'm kind of cold, so I talk very slow.
Yeah, that's all right. It's our first episode. So and we can cover anything. We're gonna have some guests from other fields too. Like we were more like fitness, workout, martial arts and stuff. But we could cover stuff like psychology, philosophy, cars, women, name it. We have buddies in all this spheres. So let us know what you want to see. And on our part, we have a couple of guests that we'll bring in. So it's gonna be fun, man. I'm excited for it.
Yes. Thank you for watching, guys.
Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, share. Let's make it big. On that, guys. Unleash your inner warrior. AC out.
PB out.